And for updates from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, let's bring in my colleague Temple Ashaju to give us all those details. Hello, Temple. Good afternoon. So which direction is the index tilting to now? As at midday, it was southwards 0.22%.
So I think it is still, the market is still marginally down, or maybe I should say it's flat, because earlier we were down marginally by 0.02%, and a few seconds ago, I understand it's looking up again. Earlier we saw losses in a couple of names, but then, for example, 11 PLC was down some 5.50%, and that's from the oil and gas side of things. You got Dangote Sugar down by 5.38%, which is from the consumer goods side of the market. The financial services sectors are really the worst hit, as things have been going on or panning out in the market all day. But a few seconds ago, we saw some buy sentiments on Dangote Cement, which rose some 0.27%. We then saw Etana PLC, which has been up by some 9.52% all day, and then flour mills from the consumer goods segment. So then I also understand one of the companies that really can place the name now also just joined the market, and is that's Zenith Bank from the financial services side of things, and it's up by more than 4%. So that then changed the direction of the market in terms of the percentage points, percentage movement of the key benchmark index. With the way things are going, we may end up closing green today in the market, just like we did yesterday, because again, the buy side of things is really on the high side. If you look at the market activity, it's up in terms of volume now by way over 100%, and in terms of value, it's also up by more than 40%. However, we've seen some 120 million units of shares traded so far, and in terms of value, it's close to 20 billion naira. 1.2 billion naira, about 2 billion naira, currently around 1.8 to 1.9 billion naira in the market, Chimeze. So with these numbers, the translation for the sectors of the market is actually that the banking services, the banking sector is down by 11 basis points. Industrial goods sector is neither here nor there. It's a bit up. We've seen a bit of improvement in Dangote Cement and, of course, WAPCO PLC. Then consumer goods segment is negative. But with the improvement we've seen in the share price of Etana PLC, the oil and gas segment is currently positive by about 60 basis points, Chimeze.
Now, Sako got listed yesterday. Are you tracking that stock? How is it performing?
Chimeze, I didn't get that clearly, but I guess you're talking about Sako.
Sako, yes.
was able to have its facts behind the offer yesterday. We know that the offering lasts till the 19th of December this month. I think that is going to be next week. That's when the offering will be ending. So basically what the information that came to the market with is for investors who want to know more about what they intend to use the proceeds for. And as part of the explanations given yesterday, Sako made the investment public and, of course, the trading community to understand that they are looking at expanding operation. CFAX, which is the major investor in the company, is in need of more working capital and is looking to use this proceeds to now invest in warehouses, invest in equipment, so that the operation in Lagos and, of course, Abuja sides of the operations will, offices basically, will get some good working capital, and then they can have more equipment as they really want to. In terms of the loans and some facilities that the company had taken, we understand that a whole lot of that have been settled, except for a marginal loan that is still on right now, which they took a few months ago. Basically, that's what we know from SACOL, and once that ends next week, I think we'll be able to know how much of investors or investments had gone into that company, rather, from its retail and corporate investors in terms of value and in terms of the volume or market capitalization that the company will come on board with. It is after all of this that we will then see the official listing of SACOL on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange here. What we know by analysis is that the company has a huge upside potential in terms of its share price, close to 6 naira, given the offering right now at 4 naira 65 kobo, and we know it's over 4 million units of the shares that is currently on offer by way of sale now to the public. So we do hope to get all of these information next week by the 19th of December, when the offering will come to an end. Chimeze.
All right, thank you, Temple. And a hearing over an $8.1 billion dispute between South African telecoms giant MTN and the Central Bank of Nigeria has been adjourned until January 22. The dispute is over the transfer of $8.1 billion of funds, which Nigeria's central bank says the company had sent abroad in breach of foreign exchange regulations. MTN has denied any wrongdoing. Nigeria is MTN's biggest market, accounting for a third of the South African company's annual core profit. The mobile phone network serves 56 million people in Nigeria. The adjournment came at the request of the central bank and MTN lawyers, who said the two parties are still making moves towards an out-of-court settlement. And Moody's has forecast 1.9% growth for Nigeria's economy this year, up from 0.8% in 2017, with a stable outlook. This comes as the global ratings agency in its latest report warns that a country's sovereign balance sheet will remain exposed to further shocks due to government's inability to expand its non-oil revenue base sufficiently. Moody hints that a durable increase in the country's non-oil revenue base will improve its resilience to oil price volatility and increase capital spending on major infrastructure projects crucial to economic development. Meanwhile, Vice President at the ratings agency expects the country's debt levels to remain contained at around 20% of GDP in 2019. And the total value of capital importation into Nigeria declined by $2.66 billion to $2.85 billion in the third quarter of 2018. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the largest amount of inflows was received through portfolio investment, which stood at $1.72 billion, followed by other investment at $601.53 million and foreign direct investment at $530.63 million. On the sectoral chart, equity investments dominated the third quarter of 2018 at $1.66 billion. The United States was the top source of capital investment in Nigeria in the quarter under review with $911.33 million. And at this point, we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago.